Hello and welcome back to the show. Today we're speaking with Sheldon Wolf with Canada Credit Fix. Now, Sheldon is the president of Canada Credit Fix and is one of Canada's top forensic credit experts. He's a specialist and an educator to Canadians on topics such as credit restoration, credit score modification, debt settlement, and identity theft protection. Well, Sheldon brings to the table over 25 years of credit experience and currently sits on the board of directors for Credit Institute of Canada. Sheldon, thanks again for joining us once again.
Hey, thank you for having me. Always
well, we're going to
pleasure.
talk today about debt settlement. And for those who have never heard of debt settlement, can you explain what debt settlement is?
A debt settlement's an alternative to what people commonly do in this country, which is get in over their head and file bankruptcy, or they file a consumer proposal. Debt settlement's an alternative where we can negotiate with your creditors and come up with a happy medium, either help you get into affordable payments and get into that type of arrangements, or possibly you have a lump sum, you've sold a home, or a family have gifted some funds together, pulled some funds together, and you want to cut a deal, and we call those the one-time deals, the lump sum transactions. But several different ways to do it, but that'd be a good example. It's negotiation between you and your creditors.
So is it like a bankruptcy or a consumer proposal?
Well, here's the difference. A consumer proposal and a bankruptcy, they're going to stay on your credit a very, very long time. A bankruptcy, for example, will stay on your credit. It'll stay on your credit for 6 years from the date of discharge. So, for example, if you have a bankruptcy discharge 2 or 3 years after you've filed, well, add 6 years to that, and that's how long that's going to stay on your credit. You're burning almost all your relationships with your creditors, and God forbid something happens down the road where you have no choice but to file a bankruptcy. Well, it's going to stay on 14 years the next time. The consumer proposal is similar, except they're going to your creditors and they're going to try and retrieve as much money for your creditors as possible. Many people don't realize that a lot of these companies actually work for your creditors, where with debt settlement, we actually work for you. You retain us to negotiate and arbitrate your debts with your creditors, and that's exactly what we do. We work for you. So,
wow. So why doesn't everyone do a debt settlement instead of a bankruptcy?
Simply, and the only reason I can figure out, and we've been doing it for quite a while, but it's not well advertised in this country. Everybody knows the big B word. You get in over your head, you file bankruptcy. And the problem is most people really do not realize the harm they're doing to themselves and their creditor, where we're soft. I mean, our goal is to come up with a happy settlement that makes your creditor happy, makes you happy, and gets everybody on side when sometimes these negotiations have broken down through collection or whatnot.
So, Sheldon, what about these not-for-profit companies? I heard that they're volunteers or charities. Tell us a bit about that.
That's actually one of the biggest misconceptions, and many people in Canada tend to think that because they use the word not-for-profit that they're a charity, that they're a volunteer or a government organization. It doesn't necessarily mean any of that. It doesn't mean that they don't volunteer. It doesn't mean they don't do nice things. But they, in most cases, work for your creditor. They are paid by your creditor. That is how they get paid. They do make money. They are not there to represent you in all cases. They're there to facilitate a deal between you and your creditors. But for the most part, the more they collect for the creditors, typically they make more money.
Well, so okay, so those are the facts. But Sheldon, give us your opinion on that. What's your view?
My view is Canadians in general don't research anything. They get their information from the bar. Their friend who has a bartender, or their friend's bartender knows someone who knows somebody, and Canadians are grossly misled. And I get the privilege of sitting behind my desk each day and watching people try and rebuild their credit after they filed bankruptcy over $9,000 or $8,000, all because a trustee told them it was a great idea and recommended it. When really any collector, any creditor would have been more than glad to negotiate and get something versus nothing. it's a solution that that people just simply don't know about, and maybe bankruptcy is just the easy way. The clients who contact us don't want to burn their relationship with their creditors and their collectors. They want to pay these debts back. They want to come up with a solution. They want us to help them repair their credit. And I guess that's the advantage too, is because we do credit repair and debt settlement, we focus on the relationship. We focus on getting the customer back on his feet and making him fiscally responsible. So this isn't something that becomes chronic in his life. A lot of these Canadian consumers have chronic debt problems because nobody ever says, hey, there's a better way to do this. There is a responsible way to handle this.
And what about those that say that they can settle their own debts? Is this something you recommend?
And I use this example all the time. You can give yourself a root canal if you watch it done enough times. I don't recommend it. You're dealing with people who represent their own interests. The creditor, the collector, they represent themselves. Our fees are typically built into whatever we're going to negotiate anyway, so for the most part, there'd be no sense in doing it any other way. Have an expert handle what they handle. That's what I say with just about everything, whether you're getting electricity put in your house or whether you're dealing with something that's going to affect you for so long. One false move, you could mess up your credit, mess up your debt situation really bad. Enough to force you into bankruptcy where you don't have a choice.
Okay. So regarding benefits, let's focus on that. What is the one benefit people get when dealing with your company? And I assume it's because you do both debt settlement and credit repair. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, absolutely. That is the main benefit because we understand credit repair as much as we understand debt settlement and debt arbitration. It's easy for us to figure out a way to have you land on your feet and without having to have the bad credit for 8-9 years that you may have if you filed a bankruptcy. And we don't put marks on your credit. We don't advertise that you're in our program. This is agreements that we make between you and us and agreements that you're going to be making between you and your creditors, and they're going to be making the agreements back. So it's a nice triangle which gets everybody to the table, and arbitration is exactly what it is. When talks are broken down between you and your collectors, we can work with them to do various things, including negotiate things that will definitely show better on your credit.
Well, great. We've had you on the show before, and with regards to your credit repair solutions, and it seems like you're coming up with some great programs and solutions for Canadians. Sheldon, keep up the great work.
Thank you very much, and always a pleasure.
For more information on Canada Credit Fix and their DebtOut Debt Settlement Program, please check out www.debtout.ca. Or you can also get great information from www.canadacreditfix.com. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.